The FIFA World Cup 2026 is live right now. 48 teams, 104 matches, 16 cities, 3 countries. The largest sporting event in human history, running until July 19. And somewhere in the machinery of it, over 4,000 fake FIFA domains are already active. The FBI has flagged spoofing attacks on FIFA's own website. Cybersecurity agencies on 3 continents have issued formal threat bulletins. On dark web markets, 1.5 million compromised accounts tied to the tournament ecosystem are already in circulation. None of this is surprising to anyone who has been paying attention, because FIFA has been hacked before. Not once, not twice. 5 separate times by 5 completely different groups, with 5 completely different methods. Russian military intelligence officers, a self-taught programmer who worked alone for 4 years from a rented apartment, 4 Americans who built software to fake a football game, unknown attackers who picked their targets off a public leaderboard, and a group that broke into one of the largest gaming companies on Earth with a $10 file and a story about a lost phone. Different crews, different jobs, same building, same result. The question that connects all 5 is not who did it, or when, or even how much they took. The question is simpler than that. How did they get in? Every single time, every single attack, they walked through the same kind of door, and that door was always left open by a person. This is not a story about hackers. It is a story about the assumption that security is a technical problem and what happens to the organizations that believe it.
Door 1. The trusted email. Method: spear phishing. Target: 1 person with network access. Cost to attacker: 0. Moscow, 2016. Russia is in a political crisis over sport. The McLaren report has confirmed what investigators suspected. More than 1,000 Russian athletes across 30 sports benefited from a state-run doping program at the 2014 Sochi Winter Olympics. The fallout is severe. Bans, stripped medals, Russia's entire track and field team excluded from the Rio Olympics. The Kremlin does not accept the findings. It builds a counter-operation. Russia's Military Intelligence Directorate, the GRU, launches a targeting campaign against the organizations enforcing global anti-doping rules. The objective is not to find the truth. The objective is to find enough material to make the truth look complicated. Their unit, formerly designated Unit 26165 in the DOJ indictment that would come 2 years later, begins with WADA in September 2016. They steal medical files from U.S. Olympic athletes, Simone Biles, Venus Williams, dozens of others. These files show therapeutic use exemptions, legal, medically approved authorizations to use otherwise prohibited substances, posted without context on a fake hacktivist website they call Fancy Bear. They are designed to look like evidence of systemic corruption. They are not, but they look like they might be. That is enough. In December 2016 and January 2017, the same unit turns to football. They compromise the networks of the International Association of Athletics Federations and FIFA. The method: targeted spear phishing against each organization's top anti-doping official. 1 email, 1 person, 1 click. Inside. From FIFA's files, they take key logs, lab results, medical reports, and therapeutic use exemption records. What they publish: TEU authorizations granted to players at the 2010 World Cup. Mario Gomez, Carlos Tevez, Juan Sebastian Veron, Dirk Kuyt, Ryan Nelson. Legal medical authorizations, posted without context, framed as scandal. None of the players named broke any rule. In October 2018, the United States Department of Justice indicted 7 GRU officers by name. The FBI seized the Fancy Bear domains the same day. The operation was formally attributed to the Russian state in court documents. The 7 officers remain in Russia. No extradition has occurred. Door 1. A trusted email. 1 click. The entire anti-doping intelligence of the world's governing body of football. Gone. Door 2. The Open Archive. Method: persistent network intrusion and document extraction. Target: institutions that never imagined one person would care enough to keep going. Cost to the attacker: time. Porto, Portugal. Rui Pinto is in his mid-20s. Self-taught programmer, former history student, working under the pseudonym John from a rented apartment. He has just broken into the email servers of Sporting Lisbon and found something that makes him furious enough to keep going. For the next 4 years, he does not stop. Pinto builds football leaks, a website and then a private channel to journalists, and systematically extracts the financial architecture of European football. Not the matches, not the tactics, the money. The secret contracts, the offshore accounts, the agent fees structured to avoid tax, the financial fair play breaches buried in holding companies 3 jurisdictions deep. He builds a collection of 70 million documents and 3.4 terabytes of data and begins sending it in batches to Der Spiegel, the German investigative magazine. What comes out shakes the sport to its foundations. The alleged salaries of Lionel Messi and Neymar, a serious personal allegation against Cristiano Ronaldo that his legal team has consistently and categorically denied. Evidence of alleged discriminatory profiling practices at Paris Saint-Germain. Financial irregularities at Manchester City involving a payment of £59.5 million the club had attributed to their principal sponsor Etihad Airways, but which leaked documents suggested came directly from the Abu Dhabi ownership, meaning the club's owner had effectively funded his own club past financial fair play limits. Der Spiegel called a scheme allegedly used to hide £40 million in player payments Project Longbow, and within the haul, FIFA's own internal documents. In 2018, FIFA president Gianni Infantino publicly acknowledged that FIFA's networks had been compromised by a separate phishing operation earlier that year, not the GRU attack, an unconnected breach, and that internal documents had been stolen and passed to media organizations. The Football League's material was in circulation. Der Spiegel and a consortium of European outlets described the total volume as the largest leak in sports journalism. Investigations launched in Belgium, Britain, France, Spain, and Switzerland. Hungarian police arrested Pinto in Budapest in January 2019. He was extradited to Portugal, spent a year in custody, then agreed to cooperate, giving prosecutors access to encrypted files and providing evidence in corruption probes across multiple countries. His first trial gave him a 4-year suspended sentence in September 2023. No prison. 77 charges pardoned under a 2023 amnesty. A second prosecution brought 241 new charges. On April 29, 2026, 6 weeks before this World Cup kicked off, a Lisbon criminal court acquitted him of every single one. The 3-judge panel ruled the prosecution had tried him twice for the same conduct already covered in the 2023 conviction, a violation of double jeopardy. Rui Pinto is currently free, living under police protection at an undisclosed location. His supporters call him football's Edward Snowden. His prosecutors spent a decade calling him a criminal. The court found him guilty of attempted extortion against one investment fund and constitutionally barred from further prosecution on everything else. The documents were real. The wrongdoing they revealed was real. Every investigation they triggered is still running. Door 2, not a sophisticated exploit, patient extraction for 4 years from organizations that never imagined one person in a rented apartment would care enough to keep going.
Door 3. The fake match. Method: server exploitation via bot software. Target: the logic of the game itself, not any individual. Cost to the attacker: development time. Result: first ever jury conviction for FIFA coin fraud. 2014, Fort Worth, Texas. Anthony Clark is 24 years old, along with Nick Castellucci, Ricky Miller, and Eaton Swear, operating under the name RANE Developments, has built a piece of software with a very specific purpose. It fakes football matches. FIFA Football's Ultimate Team Mode rewards players with in-game currency, FIFA coins, based on time spent playing. The more you play, the more you earn. And because FIFA coins could be exchanged for real money on secondary markets outside the game, those coins have genuine financial value. Clark Software does not play the matches. It tells EA's servers that thousands of matches have been completed within seconds. The servers cannot distinguish the fake completions from real ones. They issue coins accordingly. Clark and his associates then sell those coins on black market exchanges for US dollars. By the time the FBI and IRS identify them, the group has converted over $16 million in fraudulently obtained FIFA coins into real money. 3 of the 4 plead guilty. Clark goes to trial. In November 2016, a jury in Fort Worth convicts him of conspiracy to commit wire fraud. He becomes the only person in FIFA's hacking history to be convicted by a jury for an attack on its ecosystem. This case matters beyond the conviction. It resolves a legal question that had never been tested before. Are virtual in-game coins real money in the eyes of the law? The FBI and IRS jointly investigated. A federal court convicted. The answer is yes. FIFA coins are a financial instrument. The market built around them is large enough to attract federal prosecution. That precedent mattered because 6 years later, a different group found the same economy and found a far cheaper way in. Door 3, not hacking FIFA the organization, hacking the logic of the game, finding a gap between what the server tracks and what is real.
Door 4, the public list. Method: social engineering of customer support via live chat. Target: the richest accounts in a billion-dollar game economy, identified from a public leaderboard. Cost to the attacker: patience and a working internet connection. January 2022. FIFA 22's Ultimate Team mode is generating over $1.6 billion in annual in-game revenue for Electronic Arts. At the top of the ecosystem is a tier of professional traders and content creators. People who have spent years and sometimes thousands of pounds building accounts with real financial value on gray markets where FIFA coins trade at known exchange rates. These people are ranked publicly on a leaderboard anyone can see. The attackers open it like a menu. The method, confirmed in EA's own public statement after a week of silence, works like this. The attackers identify a high-value account using the public leaderboard. They research the target, gamertag, platform, sometimes personal details scraped from social media. Then they open EA's customer service live chat and claim to be the account holder locked out. They do not crack a password. They do not break two-factor authentication through any technical means. They contact EA's customer support, claim the account, and request an email change. Then they wait for an advisor to process it. When one does, without verifying who they are actually talking to, the attackers own the account. The original email address is replaced. Two-factor authentication tied to the old address becomes irrelevant. The rightful owner is locked out. The attacker is in. Fut Donkey, one of the largest coin traders in FIFA 22, described it publicly in January 2022. The hackers had not cracked his password or broken his authentication. They had opened EA's live chat repeatedly until a representative processed the change. I told EA live chat 2 times to add notes to my account saying it was being targeted by hackers and not to change any details, and they still did it.
50 million coins. Gone. Professional footballer Valentin Rosier lost 60 million credits the same way. EA's initial response to him: consult an online advisor. The 7 most prominent victims collectively lost assets valued at close to $100,000. The full total across smaller accounts hit by the same method was higher. EA's statement, January 11, 2022. Utilizing threats and other social engineering methods, individuals acting maliciously were able to exploit human error within our customer experience team and bypass two-factor authentication to gain access to player accounts. Human error. In a customer service chat. No technical breach of any security system, just a representative who processed a request they should not have processed. EA promised retraining, mandatory managerial approval for email changes, new verification steps. Nobody was charged. No arrests were made.
Door 5.
$10 and a lost phone. Method: stolen session cookie plus social engineering of IT support via Slack. Target: EA's corporate network. Cost to the attacker: $10. Haul: 780 gigabytes. June 2021. A hacking group posts to a criminal marketplace online. They're selling something. Asking price: $28 million. The product? 780 gigabytes of data from Electronic Arts, the complete source code for FIFA 21, matchmaking tools for Ultimate Team, the source code for Frostbite, EA's game engine, which powers Battlefield, Madden, Need for Speed, and a dozen other major franchises. The group spoke to Vice's Motherboard and walked through the method step by step. EA confirmed to Motherboard that the account was accurate. Step 1. Buy a stolen session cookie from a criminal marketplace online. Price paid: $10. A session cookie is a small file a browser stores when you log in to a website. It preserves your authenticated session so you do not have to log in again on the next visit. When that cookie is stolen and imported into a different browser, it can authenticate to the same service without a password in certain configurations. The hackers used the $10 cookie to access one of EA's internal Slack channels, logged in, appearing as a legitimate employee. Step 2. Message IT support from inside Slack. One hacker sent a message to EA's IT team explaining they had lost their phone at a party the night before and needed help accessing the corporate network. The IT team sent them a multi-factor authentication token. They were inside EA's corporate network. This worked twice, the representative told Motherboard. Step 3. Find the code. Inside the network, they located EA's compilation service, created a virtual machine to broaden visibility, navigated to a separate storage service, downloaded the source code, 780 gigabytes out the door. They listed it for $28 million. No confirmed sale, no consumer data accessed, no player information in the stolen files. No charges, no arrests. The group was never publicly identified. Total cost of entry into a company generating billions in annual revenue, $10 and a story about a lost phone. Door 5. Not a breach of any technical defense, a breach of the assumption that someone inside a trusted communication platform must be who they say they are. The World Cup is live. 4,300 fake FIFA domains are active right now per Kila Cyber Intelligence. 1.5 million compromised accounts tied to the tournament are already in circulation on underground criminal marketplaces. The FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center has flagged active spoofing attacks on FIFA's official website. Canada's Centre for Cybersecurity has issued a formal threat bulletin concluding the tournament will almost certainly be targeted by cybercriminals, non-state actors, and state-sponsored actors. At Paris 2024, a smaller event, there were 140 confirmed cyber incidents. This tournament is bigger by every metric. Over a third of FIFA's own sponsors and suppliers, according to Black Duck Security Research, have no DMARC record on their mail domains. An attacker does not need to forge an email address to convincingly spoof them. The door is already marked. The methods in circulation right now are the same methods that have worked since 2016. Fake ticketing sites, fraudulent accommodation listings, spoofed transportation apps, AI-generated phishing emails in multiple languages tailored to specific workflows, social engineering of support staff, session cookies, live chats, lost phones. 5 different crews found 5 different doors into the same building over 6 years. Not one of those doors was a technical exploit that required state-level capability or sophisticated tooling. Every single one ran through a person who clicked a link, a person who never imagined anyone would keep going for 4 years, a server that could not tell a real match from a simulated one, a customer service advisor who processed a request, an IT support worker who believed someone had lost their phone. The GRU officers named in the DOJ indictment are in Russia.
Rui Pinto is free, acquitted on constitutional grounds, living under police protection. Anthony Clark was convicted by a jury in 2016 and is the only person who ever went to trial for any of this. The FIFA 22 hackers were never identified. The group that paid $10 for the FIFA 21 source code was never found. 5 attacks, 1 conviction, 4 that ended in nothing. The building is still open. The World Cup runs until July 19, and right now, somewhere, someone already knows which door to try next. If you made it this far, drop your answer to the question from the start. Every one of these attacks found a human being who could be convinced. What does that say about the security of the biggest institutions on Earth? I want to read every answer.